Hey, what's up, guys? So this is Chef, and I wanna um, show you guys the weekly watch list. I know I already posted the tickers and some of the levels, but I also just want to be able to come on here and just explain to you guys why I see value in the top 7 tickers that I posted, and want to give you guys an idea as to like how I created it and just the thought process behind it. So first of all, we do have a 5 week trading sessions. Not like last week, we had a 4 day trading session, which kind of sucks because every trader desires to have those 5 days, and we look forward to those 5 days. But again, take advantage of those 3 days to have off to reset, review, things like that. Enjoy the families, um, and not stress over charts. So hopefully everybody had a great weekend, and you guys are all ready to come back strong, and learn some more things. But looking at the /ES, this is the market, the S&P 500. If you guys don't know what /ES is, the future. The other ticker that it's very well known, it's ETF, which is SPY, and everybody charts SPY and things like that. So I mainly follow ES, and what I see on the 4 hour time frame is literally just something bullish that's not stopping. Okay, I don't know where the roof is. We don't know where it's at. We don't know when it's going to stop. We don't know what the correction is going to look like and things like that. So instead of like trying to be biased, instead of trying to have these opinions and these biased outlooks as things like it has to drop or it has to correct, why not just keep following the trend until that changes? We're option traders. You can definitely trade the top side and the downside. So don't worry, just play the levels. If there's more green than red, then by all means play calls. If there's more red than green, then by all means play puts and stop out of your calls. It's that simple. So with that said, ES is still bullish. I'm not going to give levels just because well, you technically can't. For NQ, this is tech. Tech looks like it's kind of chilling right here. We are following this trend line still on the 4 hour time frame. We do have a little base down here, which is kind of nice. um, Tech has been real bullish lately, so for me, there's not much risk to reward when you have a stock that's all-time high. I would rather grab something that's at the bottom. Just for example, something like Amazon or Apple or Microsoft. Those things are just running in parabolic. Definitely could make money on it, but I would rather trade something like Disney that's at the bottom that has a lot more reward, to provide for you. So just keep in mind of what you're doing. And definitely NQ is still bullish, of course. I think a lot of people are looking for this 15. And then for ES, I think the psychological number is people are looking for that 44. RTY is another one that's just kind of been trading sideways, and I will definitely do another video on this one, just because it's something that I've been following as well, and it's been trading sideways for such a long time that the weekly time frame, it's kind of squeezing still. So I was able to trade this last week and swing some calls from this bottom, because as you can see here, I think the last time I talked about it as well, I did mention that there's a lot of buyer wicks, and every time we come down here, it just keeps getting bought up continuously. Like, we have these aggressive sell-offs, but then the dip buys get bought up real fast, and it's creating a lot of buyers here. So on the weekly time frame, and once this breaks out right here from this 2350, it'll create a bigger move, I'm assuming, to the 24 and 25. So definitely getting tighter on the weekly time frame. 4 hour time frame is just, it looks like it's range, but this is awesome. I want to be able to catch that breakout, but definitely this is going to be on my watch list for scalping, not SPY. So small cap sector is still doing okay. We have the ARK, which everybody knows, the Cathie Wood Holdings, and it's showing a good retest. It has this nice uptrend with this nice pullback that we had this past week, and it had a nice retest of this 120 level, which was all this demand right here, and then we're over this resistance, which is this like 125. Okay, this is actually a real good setup. So if you guys wanted to trade this, would make sure we're over 126. Target would be 127. around like 0.80. You can just round it off to 128, 129, 130, and then right here this 132 high of 132.60. So definitely keep this one on watch. Okay. For XLF, something to be aware of this week, financials do have earnings. So XLF is going to be the direction that you get for all the banks. We are kind of trading sideways though here. Okay, around that 37 area. And then the bottom of like this 35.50. So keep that in mind, okay? I don't really trade any stock that has earnings the week of. But if the setup is there, definitely can still make money. And the only reason why I personally don't do it is just because of the IV and the volatility. It's way too much. I would rather trade something that has some nice structure and doesn't include like any type of major catalyst, unless it's happening intraday, where like the news is positive or bad, which will create the pattern to break out to the top side or downside. Then maybe I'll look at it for a day trade, but to focus on it for a weekly watch list, I do not. I'm looking at TAN. Same thing. This is the solar sector. It's looking pretty decent as well. Almost looks like we're flagging here. I don't want to make something up, but on the 4-hour, I think the daily time frame as well. We kind of have like this retest here of this support of 83 level down here. Okay. We still have a little more room to drop, just a bit more if we do get rejected. But over the 90 level, we can potentially start seeing more uptrend to the top side, and this will confirm the trend change and reversal for all solar. Okay. The biggest one again that I'm watching is going to be these airlines jets. You can see this nice rejection from this 27 level where we couldn't even hold and break above, and we've just been trading down for like the past 3-4 weeks almost. And on Friday we finally had a nice bullish candle on all across airlines. BA was like one of the biggest ones. I know a lot of people traded BA. It was just posted everywhere. So, keep in mind that airlines did get a lot of attention on Friday. So because it did get a lot of attention, you want to make sure you keep focused on this that could have a potential reversal, once we start breaking this level here. What I'm mainly looking for is for the break of 25 and to reclaim this demand here. You see how we kept bouncing at these levels. I want to make sure that we press over maybe towards the end of the week, which will create all airlines to push to the top. Okay, so keep those things in mind. You guys can go ahead and chart those airlines. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tickers that I have for the watch list for the week, and I want you guys to focus as to why and what type of setups I'm going to be looking for, and the purpose of sticking to a weekly watch list. Some of you guys don't have the ability to trade full time, so you have to adjust your schedule and also the ticker size according to your account size. There's certain times of the day where you can come in and trade. Some of you can only trade like the first hour. Some of you midday during your lunch break and you're scalping. The biggest thing everybody talks about is scalping in the bathroom while you guys getting these 10 5-minute day trades and you're in and out making money while you're at work. So I think that's awesome. Some of you go on your lunch break around power hour and pick up a few swings only to be able to sell right in the morning, which is cool too. So a lot of it just depends on who you are as a trader and how you can adjust your lifestyle into some of these setups. The point of the weekly watch list is to be able to provide you guys with a specific setup that you can look for. It doesn't have to happen right away on Monday. It can happen Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday or Friday, or even midday throughout one of those days. And that's where you set those alerts and understand why you want to take this trade and why it's here. So with that said, I did say earlier as well that I don't like trading tickers that have earnings unless the setup is there. Okay, so for TSM, this thing does have earnings this week. Okay, this is the biggest thing that I don't really like trading because of the IV, and the volatility just creates a lot of crazy movement. So on the 7/15th, we do have earnings, but we do have a few days before that that can potentially lead up to a nice move. And it doesn't have to. And this thing can trade sideways and then on earnings just blow through this area. So what I want to see with TSM is the break of this, all right, the 121. The 121 and the 120 is the area that needs to break in order for this to pop and then do something like this. Okay, this is what I want to see. I have a high target of 125 that can definitely lead into the run up of earnings, and then at earnings, before earnings, take profit. So I'm kind of just looking for this break because it'll be a strong level to break here on the supply. If we break that 121, that's where I want to enter. If we're at 121.20, 121.30, 121.50, I will still enter this position. I'm just moving my stop loss up and using 121 as a new support in that case if it does push up. Okay, so I am looking for that for TSM. I think it did get some good news today, this morning. So I don't know how that's going to affect the gap up or gap down. But either way, the next entry would be around this 122. And then all the other levels are posted as well. But I'm just giving you guys the highest target so you guys can go and do some homework and read the watch list that's posted in Conservative Collectors and just a few other places. Also check out the Instagrams. The other one is going to be INTC. So I'm kind of grabbing INTC if TSM does not provide a valid entry. I want to look at INTC just because we're almost in the same sector, okay? And what I like about this is that everybody out there is going to have the same trend line here, okay? This is what I want to look for, and then what I'm seeing is the demand, okay? That is your demand right here, and then you have a supply of right there. So I see a nice range trading ticker that you guys seen before on the previous watch list. A lot of it was a rally-based drop, gave opportunity to trade to the top side and gave opportunity to trade to the downside, okay? So definitely one of the biggest setups that was provided. So with that being said, I want to entry over 56, okay? It's a smaller mover, so don't expect nothing crazy. 56 to 57, it's a decent size move for something like this. You can load up in plenty of call contracts. They're very cheap and make a good percentage. Even a 10% with like multiple contracts can give you a good return. But I have a target of 57, 57, 50, and right below 58. So I really want to see INTC rally all the way to this top into earnings next week. As long as TSM can give a good sentiment, okay? Or buy the dip at 55.25 with your 55 stop loss. Very simple, right? Okay, Disney is the other one. You guys know that it's been on the watch list, man, for the past like 3-4 weeks. Ever since this happened here, I've been watching Disney. And what it's been doing, it's still a value stock, okay? This is not like, it's not like Apple or it's not like Amazon where those are more volatile and they have some decent movements, they have some decent trends. For these growth stocks and value stocks, you got to be a little more patient and be able to buy the dip on these versus trying to buy the breakout. The characteristics for Disney, it likes to go up and down during the day. It's more of a little slower mover, but every time it has a run up, it likes to drop back down on that same day. So it's better to buy the dip on this to get time to be able to average in and average out and scale out and things like that. So what I really want to see this week is I want to be over 178. 178 and 179 will basically confirm a nice trend change to the top and do something like this. Maybe run up into earnings or something like that. But again, it doesn't have to. This thing can literally just stay range from from this 179 all the way down to this 172, even 170 again. So remember, it doesn't have to do that, but I am looking for the 178 break and continuing to this 180 to the high of 181 by the end of the week. That's kind of what I want to see. Otherwise, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this 4-hour candle body. I'm going to grab this piece at the bottom, maybe just a little bit slightly below 50% of that candle, and use 175 as a support. Support meaning that I want to be able to buy the dip based on these wicks over here, okay? And you see how we kind of bounced in here as well. We had some buyers here step in, So around the 175 level, I want to be able to buy the dip again. If not, then Disney will just come back all the way to this 173, giving you some good opportunities to short this stock. So I'm kind of looking for that for Disney. Okay. The next one is CRM. What I want you guys to see here as well in the 4-hour time frame is this nice rally, and then CRM had this like kind of like this ascending triangle right here, and then ended up popping to the top. So this was on the watch list. I think the previous week as well, and it ran all the way to this 250 350 level where I was able to take profit. So I ended up swinging this, and then now what it's doing, it came down here to retest this level and kind of just hanging out at supply. So as long as we're over this 245, I think a safer entry would be this 246.73 just to go back up. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for CRM. 247 would be the safer psychological entry, which is up here. And first target around 248, you want to look for 249.70, 250, and then the 252 with the high of like 253.50. So if CRM can hold above in these levels, definitely look out for this range. For this range to be retested and confirmed to the top side. Here is Shaq. The last time I posted this thing, we caught this from like from 101 all the way to like 111, which was a crazy move. So now what Shaq is doing, it's food industry, guys. So Shaq is more of a slower mover. It's a weird mover too. So if you can't trade this based on the spreads, please do not, and just literally stay away. But it is a bull flag pattern here, staircase pattern on the way up, as you can see here. So we kind of have a similar pattern happening here. Okay, kind of have this like little base here to drop down, and then the fish hook pattern right here. We have again another pattern, but you see like how the patterns are forming, and we're still holding up this trend line, and now you're building kind of like a little bull flag, a little channel down, and with lowering volume. The awesome part is that has that lowering volume, and usually that's what you want to see. You want to see lowering volume when something is building a flag, a triangle, or any type of pattern that way. Therefore, when the volume comes in, it's going to give you the confirmation to actually trade this to the long side for the breakout, or the downside for the breakout of that pattern, whichever one it may be, whichever one comes first. So be aware of that little tip. So here, Shaq, what I want to see with Shaq is volume, of course, to come in first and foremost. Okay, so a safer entry would be around 107 and 107.50. So kind of like this little area right here. Okay, so I'm just grabbing this top wick and then the candle body. That's what I want to see break. I want to have a first target of this first wick right here, which would be your 109.70, and then the top of 111.40, 111.50. Okay, that's basically what I want to see with Shaq. It's going to be a fast move. You know, it can be a slow one. So it can potentially reach by the end of the week that way. But again, over that 111.50, you're going to be looking for that 115 based on this back here, this little wick right here. Okay, so that's what you're going to do. Your first entry is here, your first target's here, and then your second target's up there. Okay, if it wants to keep going to the moon, then go ahead 118.88. That will be the next target. But then you want to have that 116.20 and then just trail it all the way up. Okay, so that's the pattern on Shaq. And we have Snow. Again, this is one of those tickers that everybody traded on Friday. You know, you go look on Instagram and tweets and Facebook, and you go look on MySpace too if you want. This thing was posted everywhere. It looks like everybody made money off Snow. I made money off Snow. Everybody else out there made money off Snow, so it was a good one. So what I want to mention for you guys is just to be aware of some things, okay? All right, so with Snow, we had this break, okay? We had a nice range break. So from this 235, okay, I'm just rounding off the numbers, from this 235 to this 255, okay, that is the size of that range that Snow was trading in, and it finally broke out and it hit that 270, okay? The 275 and the 270 It's a nice supply zone. It's not huge, but it's supply, meaning resistance. Okay, if you don't know what supply is, it's resistance. This now has become a strong demand, and if you can see what it did here as well, it had a nice range. So we're building ranges on top of ranges, and then we're still continuing with strength. We have all this resistance still, but there's not a lot of structure. Okay, that's the difference. The difference here is that we have more structure and more buyers and more buildup and more pressure to lead this stock to the top side. Okay, ultimate target, of course, for something like this, you want to look for this big old piece, which is your 300 and your 311. Okay, so that's the next base that is available right there. Okay, so now you have these two major targets, right? So with Snow, it's definitely a volatile stock. It's definitely a little more pricey when it comes to the option contracts. They do move pretty fast, but the trend change. This is a very strong trend change candle that can lead up into the next couple of weeks. Now, I'm not telling you guys and telling you guys to bag gold something all the way to this level 300, but definitely has a lot of potential to do something like this. Okay, something like that. It has strong potential to continue this trend change. But again, if it has a parabolic move, meaning that, like by the end of the week, we're like way up here, then its probability of doing a trend change is going to be very low, and it's going to do something like this. Okay. So just be aware. I would rather see a gradual movement versus a parabolic movement. Okay, for Snow. But either way, you can still make money. So I want you guys to realize that over that 275 will probably continue into these wicks, which is 280.50, 280. Your target would be halfway 286, and then you have a higher target of like that 300 level psychological. Okay, so keep in mind. That's all I want to give you guys on Snow. I know it's going to be on everybody's watch list, so I don't want to come in here and say, hey, I broke down Snow for you and take credit for it. I don't want any of that. Okay, I don't want credit for any of this just because all these charts are the same and they're going to stay this way, with or without me, with or without you. They will move with or without us. Okay. The biggest thing is to have some alerts to set up what you want to trade as a trader, what's going to match your account size, and also understand why it's moving. If you don't understand why it's moving, then maybe you need to go back and get some mentoring sessions in, do some more studying, do some more homework, and get that knowledge, because it's valuable. It's something that's going to lead you to success and be self-sufficient trader. So for Snow, I'm not giving specific levels and specific entries, but definitely something to keep in mind as to what you're coming up against and what the potential it has to provide for us. So definitely look out for Snow over that 275. Remember that 280 and 281. If you want to buy the dip on something like this, just because it had a big move, I would wait for this piece right here, 260. Okay, and if you wanted to stop out literally right below that 259, it's that simple. Okay, I don't want it to give up any of its gains. I don't know what it's going to look like. So another dip buy level would be this 264.60 right here, using these candle bodies. You can use this wick right here. You can use the breakout of that 272. I mean, there's tons of ways you can trade this. So just know what you're coming up against. Know that the trend change would be nice if it continues, just because you have all this buying pressure and all this buildup of ranges, and then now finally caught a lot of volume on Friday. And if volume keeps continuing, then definitely a Snow will be a big mover this week. So keep track of that. All right, for the other one, it's going to be UPST. Now UPST is more of a financial stock, and since earnings for financials are this week, I want to keep track of this, and this one has been on the watch list as well. So we have a range of like that 129, and then this, what did I have? 115.50 down here, 115.50 and 117, and then you have that 128. Yeah, 128.50 and 127.30 right here, the demand. So you want to set those range alerts. Make sure that if we break to the top, we're heading down there. If we break the bottom, we're heading down here. It's like 105. So keep track of your UPST, guys. It's more of a side chart for me. I want to see if it's going to break either way. So remember, this is a drop. This is a base. It's either going to rally up or it's going to rally down. So drop, base, rally, drop, base, drop. Wherever it goes, make sure you guys are there to see it. So here, wanted to give you guys another ticker so you guys can check out. But that was the weekly watch list. It's TSM, INTC, Disney, CRM, Shack, Snow, and UPST. All right, so here's another extra one that you guys can check out. U. Here we have U that kind of rallied, kind of pulled back, and then it had the past 2 trading sessions solid green, which what tells me that it retested this previous level. It retested this level here, so the 100 level has been a nice support. What I see here is the break of a trend line, so a safe entry 107. You want to take even more safe entry about 108. First target is going to be 110, 111.60. Yeah, highest 112. And then 112, what is this, 0.80, and then you have 113.70, 114, and then you have the high, which is 115.50. Definitely look out for you and follow along with ARK. Okay, so remember these levels that I give you guys. Please follow the weekly watch list. Make sure you follow it all week. If it doesn't hit Monday, it'll hit Tuesday. If it doesn't hit Tuesday, it'll hit Wednesday. If it doesn't hit, then it doesn't hit. Just make sure you guys set those alerts. All right, guys. So I'm gonna leave you guys with that. Hopefully, you guys have a solid week. And this week, I'm gonna make a few more videos that is gonna give you guys a little more swing trading tips and tricks on what to look for, and a little more education. So please like and subscribe the videos, leave comments down below, let us know what more ideas you guys have, and I still have a few more videos coming out for you guys. We definitely want to provide more value for you guys and get you guys to be a little more self-sufficient and continue to grow. This journey is not easy, but definitely not impossible to achieve and walk through. All right, guys, I'm gonna leave you with that. Happy trading, and please stay green.